Hey, I'm Christina.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Amy.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Danny.
And we're Cimorelli. As you guys know, our brand new album, Up at Night, just came out on iTunes, Pledge Music, and Spotify. So go listen to that now. And as some of you guys know, we wrote every single song on the album. So we thought we would go through them track by track and tell you guys like some of the personal stories behind all the songs of the album.
When I close my eyes, all I see is me right there in his.
For Up at Night, it all started with this little piece that Danny had written. I just found it in my email actually. They always email me their lyrics and it like gives me inspiration. And Danny had written this thing, this whole line, and at the end of it was like, his words keep me up at night. And I saw that and it jumped out at me and I was like, whoa, Up at Night is a really cool song title. And I was thinking about it and then I just kind of thought about it for a second and I just typed up some words really quick and I was like, I try to forget but I can't lie, his words keep me up and blah, blah, blah. And I went through and then I just recorded a track and then just started laying it down. And basically, I wrote this one by myself except for the bridge. It has like a dual meaning, it's kind of weird, but it's about when you cannot sleep and you're kept up at night by a guy, but it's not negative or positive only. It goes for a positive time when you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe all that stuff that happened. I can't stop thinking about him. His words are keeping me up at night and everything. But it also goes for like, you're thinking about everything that happened and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. I'm just thinking about everything that happened between us. This is so amazing. And it just goes through that feeling. It's super weird. Listen to the song and see how it works for both.
Up at Night is a song you would listen to when you are really in deep in a crush with someone currently, or you're really in deep missing someone. And either way, you can't sleep.
Make it stronger. Make it stronger. Make it stronger. Make it.
So Make It Stronger is one of the only like real like crush songs on the album as far as being happy about the crush goes, because they, especially Lauren, were getting mad because I kept writing all these killjoy songs.
You hear songs like, oh yeah, I like you, good, good, good. And then something's like, but I know it will end in flames. And you're like, okay, well, it's really
Ruin the moment.
When you like a guy you know is like not good for you, so the killjoy songs. So they're like, you need to write a crush song. So Make It Stronger is like really cute. It's about wanting him to like make the feelings stronger and like see them build. And just like a cute song about hanging out with a guy and really cute. And then I wrote down all the good details of the cuteness. Everything that we write is real details. So if we say the dude is like wearing a flannel, he was wearing a flannel. It's just like a song that you listen to when you're like, oh my gosh, this guy is so cute. Especially after you like just hung out with him, you turn it on and just sing because you're all excited, or he just texts you something really cute. So this is definitely the cute crush song.
For I Like It, I actually wrote like the main concept of it and I wrote a lot of the lyrics of the verse. And I wrote it after I came home from church one day. I was getting confirmed, it's like a Catholic thing. And this guy in our confirmation class was like really like quiet and like I always like noticed him. And then one day he actually talked to me and I was like, hey, and he like, was talking to me and he was like looking at me like, ah. And his sister was like, hey, we need to leave, And he was like, no. So that's why I was like, I know you gotta go, but you don't want to leave. And I wrote a bunch of that and then we finished it together. So
Yeah.
you were like, hey, I was.
It was originally Breathe in the Nighttime Air, Wide Eyes, Messy Hair. So it was like,
I was
more
like, you got me.
yeah, but she changed it to like, you got me, Wide Eyes, Messy Hair.
Literally, I read those words and instantly in my head I was like, just breathe in the night. It like popped into my head out of nowhere, the melody, and I was like, whoa.
This is a song that you listen to when you see or talk to or hang out or think about the person who likes you, but you weren't really expecting it.
You like someone who actually likes you, so it's like,
And it's like finally, it's like,
It's mutual.
click.
it's
It works.
Got me feeling like I'm losing my mind here, and I'm just trying to figure out where I left it.
I Know You Know It is like, I feel like it's the most unique sounding song on the whole album. It's whenever people are like, what? And we play it because they're not like expecting it, I guess.
I thought it was good, but then when I heard Matt's track for it, I was like, oh, I get it.
I Know You Know It is when specifically a guy who's like kind of knows what he's doing and he's really like extra confident and you're like charming. When you're around him, you're just like, You're just, yeah.
He knows what he's doing to you.
So basically, for I know you know it, if you like a guy and you're like dying around him, but he likes you, but you're like dying around him, you're like, oh my gosh.
You know
This
that
is
he
the song.
knows that you're dying.
Yes.
This is the song you listen to.
That's the song. Hearts on Fire is a personal fire. It's a personal favorite of mine. It took me a minute to get into this one. Even when it was on our mixtape.
For like a year.
I like a year. And then when I went through a situation where I realized, like I had liked this guy before, and then I finally realized, like, oh, I was like, oh my gosh, it felt like magic, but I knew I couldn't have it. Oh, and then it hit me right there. I was like, I get that song. I totally get it. It was like that ultimate conflict where you're like, oh, I like you so much, but you're finally grasping the fact that it's just not gonna work. So this is a song that you listen to when you are deeply conflicted and very much in like with a person.
I'm a mess around you. There's no way.
So I'm a Mess is a very relatable song. It's basically when you like a rat and he is like dragging you around, like he likes you, but he's like kind of like really hot and cold. There's a line in the bridge that I really relate to, which is like, you get a little closer to me while you push me away. I feel like everyone can relate to that. It's like, oh, I like you, but you can't make up your mind. And it's like this guy just toying with your emotions.
This is the song I listened to when I was laying on my floor for 30 minutes. Literally, I got a text from the guy, and it was like, he like crawling back, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I literally like laid on my floor for 30 minutes. Literally just like, screaming occasionally. So that's when you listen to that song, when the rat comes back.
You stand there in my driveway. You rain red light on us.
Sunsets and Heartbreak is actually the longest song on the album. And I specifically wrote this song as like, this is a song that you can cry in your bed to at night when you're like, like that was what I had in mind. It's like, oh, you did so many cute things, like you did this, it mentions all, you did this, all these cute things. And then you're like, but this is about to end and I can feel it. Sunsets. So you listen to this if you're like, oh man, this has come to an end, or it just ended. And you're just like, oh.
I love this song so much, and when we first got back, like I don't know if it was the demo or like the finished product, but I just remember I was stuck in a traffic jam in Nashville, and I listened to the song, and I was like weeping in my car. Like I listened to it like I think 3 or 4 times over, and there's like people next to me, but I didn't care. I was just like, because I was like feeling it, because I totally related. I was like, oh, this is so sad.
Show me a color.
Acid Rain is a song that I wrote by myself. It's basically just about like those toxic people in your life. Like this is about a guy that I never actually like dated. We just like talked on and off, and it was like there's always like a promise of more coming, but it never came. It was like holding on, waiting for something to finally happen, but it never would. So it's just like getting stabbed over and over again. So that's basically what this song is. You listen to it when you've been stabbed over and over again.
Emotionally.
Yeah, emotionally.
Sometimes things just have to end. Maybe
I wrote a lot of Before October's Gone. It is about a boy who I met at a like music festival thing we were performing at like 2 years ago. He lived in a state far away from me, and I lived in California, and we would like talk on the phone every single night. I found out that he was talking to a lot of girls, I don't really know how many, a lot of girls at the same time as me. One of them actually like, I like asked her about it, like what like happened with them, and literally like detail by detail, it was like the same exact thing. That was heartbreaking, very painful. So this song, very dear to my heart, and helped me move on, helped me realize that I deserve better, and I hope it helps a lot of other people. So this song is the song you listen to when you realize that you've been played.
So tell me now, do you ever miss me?
Okay, Easy to Forget Me is a song that I kind of started. I grew up and I didn't have a lot of close friends. So when I was like 11-ish, I started being really good friends with this girl, and we became really close friends. We became best friends for a really long time. So we were like seniors in high school. One day, she just like stopped talking to me out of nowhere. And she ended up going to college like 20 minutes away from my house, literally 20
From
minutes.
in the new town.
In the new town.
Place.
Yeah, I begged her to go to school there for like 2 years. I started in like sophomore year. I was like, you have to come down and go to school with me. I ran into her one day at the campus and she literally was like freaking out. She was like, what are you doing here? I was like, oh, well,
Like, well, I live here.
I have friends that go to the school too, in case you're wondering. So yeah, Easy to Forget Me is the song you listen to when you are severely ghosted and you're like, what the frick, man?
So it's like something ends.
Yes.
And you are wondering how they forgot about you so fast when you can't forget about them. And you're like, is it really that easy to completely forget all about me and our friendship and everything that we had?
I fall back, wish we had it all back. Said I was done with you.
So for some songs, we combine our stories into one, and Fallback is an example of that. I combined 2 stories and then we put Lauren's story in, and then it ended up being the one song because they were all the same feeling and they all fit together with the details. So for me, it was about this one guy that I really liked a lot who worked at a grocery store. I thought I was like moved on from him, and then I went to the grocery store and he was there working, and I saw him and I was like, and I was like, hey, and he said like hi, and then just kind of like walked away, and I was like, oh my gosh.
For me, it's kind of like the same situation as Easy to Forget Me. Like this guy just like randomly just stopped talking to me and like never talked to me again like a year before the homecoming football game. And I was like sitting there on the bleachers, and then I saw my ex-crush like walking towards me, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then he was like, yeah, and then he was just walking by with his friends, and he was like, hey, and I was like, hi, and he was like, how are you? I was like, good. And then he just walked away with his friends, and I was like,
You'll just go and walk away with all your
Yeah.
friends.
And also, side note, I really relate to this song because I really liked this guy for like, well, we were like best friends for like a year and a half, and then we like broke it off, and then I saw him at the grocery store like 3 months later. I remember I was like, we like turned around, we were right next to her, and I was like,
So basically, you listen to Fallback when you just like saw the guy you thought you were over, and suddenly you're not over him.
so just sad, you're like,
And you're
I need-
slowly digging
shot to
your
the heart.
I need a song that describes this.
I got 2 headlights and 1,000 miles to go. 200 feet away.
Headlights is it's a good song. That's all you need to know. Originally, I was writing it because she asked us to write a Christian song, and I was saying like God is my headlights, right? And then it ended up just being more like sentimental and kind of lost.
I wrote a bunch of lyrics too, and so I turned off all the lights in the room that Lisa and I shared, and Lisa was not home. And I just wrote a bunch of lyrics in the dark, and then I emailed them to Christina. So I was writing on my phone, so I could see the light.
This is a song, Headlights, that you listen to when you're like kind of confused about your life and you feel like you're like lost your direction, which is I think a big thing in high school and also like college and like just out of college. What am I doing? I don't know what to do. And you like just feel kind of lost, and you feel kind of like also you like lost part of yourself. Like you don't know who you are anymore. You're like, maybe you just did something that you feel like is very not you, and you're like, who am I right now?
Yeah.
Like, do I do that? So it's like that kind of time.
Just on my own, I'm afraid I'm a mess, full of fear, full of shame.
So for several months, I had this weird like thing happen. I felt like I was being like really called to write a Christian song over and over and over, but I was really scared to do it because I felt like I was like, oh no, I don't think our fans would like this. Oh no, what am I gonna do? And then I realized like I have to just write. I can't just be scared of what people are gonna think. It was so weird. I kept getting all these weird like signs and messages from people just mentioning it when no one had ever mentioned it before. So I was like, guys, we need to write a Christian song.
I went to Memphis and Christina texted the group and she was like, hey, we need to write this Christian song, send your lyrics. Like today, like you need to do like this deadline kind of text. And I was like, and I was at home. It was actually Ash Wednesday, I think.
Yeah,
And I was
it was Ash
yeah,
Wednesday.
and I was fasting, so I was like, who am I, where am I, I'm so hungry. So I just sat there and I prayed and I asked God, I said, what do your children need to hear? Like what would be a good, what would be like lyrics that you want? And suddenly I felt this like sense of calm come over me and I was like, and I just kind of started pouring out this, it was really a prayer. And it was something that I've been thinking about for a few weeks, which was kind of this idea of the good that people see in me is from God. and on my own, I have all these problems and I'm lost and I'm just like not a very strong person. But with God, I'm like have this brave heart and I can do great things. So I wrote these lyrics and then I sent them to Christina, and she apparently had thought of this melody that the like rhythm, the cadence, whatever you want to call it, like matched perfectly with the lyrics that I had written, and I was like a few hours away from her. So it was really weird how like they matched up perfectly, but it was definitely meant to be.
Braveheart just kind of like gives me hope when I listen to it. And it's like a song you listen to if you like feeling down a little bit, need something to pick you up, or if you just want to like worship. It's like really like a worship song, and it just gives you like some hope.
We'll take this broken heart, I'll pick it up, every part. It's never too late.
So for months, I kept saying to everyone like, we need to write a song that's like empowering and like kind of like an anti-suicide song is what I really had in mind. I was like, we need something that when people are at the end of their rope, this like gives them the strength to hold on. And then Amy wrote something that was like something worth the fight. I was like, oh my gosh, worth the fight is such a strong like message and title. That's a really good idea. We all like took that and we just took like what that meant to us and wrote it out. And this one was like really all of us wrote on this. It's definitely like a big collaboration on this song.
So I was sitting there and I was listening to the track and I was listening to the chorus. I was like, we should put a spoken word in the beginning of Worth the Fight. Like I can hear it with this track, and I just started sitting there and like writing stuff, and Christina wrote some stuff too. We kind of like collaborated on the spoken word piece, but.
And I remember I wrote lying on the bathroom floor. I wrote that part because I literally did lie on the bathroom floor many times in my life. I feel like when I was like at my lowest, I feel like I ended up in the bathroom on the floor.
I wrote like the light a candle, say a prayer thing. So I was trying to think of like I was trying to like speak to the person who is in that place, because I've been in that place where you're like losing all your hope. And I was trying to think of like what kind of things you could do to like get yourself out of that rut. And I was just like listing things that came to mind, like light a candle, pray, say a prayer, take a walk.
So this is a song you listen to if you are just feeling so down and so low, and you need someone like in your head giving you like kind of like a pep talk. Like, you can do this, get up, it's worth it. You put the song on and it will like pick you up. I've even done that a few times. I felt like really down, I listened to it and I'm like, okay, I can do it. So if you need that, listen to Worth the Fight. So I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who bought the album. It seriously means the world to us that you bought our album. It's just like really unbelievable to think that we finally put out our album and that it was like us on our own, and we like did the whole thing on our own. I never thought that would happen after being at a label for years and trying to get an album out and just not happening, and then us breaking away and being on our own and making it happen. It was just an incredible accomplishment. I'm just so proud of it and like so happy, but mainly so grateful to you guys for supporting us so much along the way and just caring about it, and then showing your support by buying the album. It seriously means the world to any artist.
I want it to be like your anthem. And a big thing on this album is we want you guys to know that it's okay to feel your emotions, and there's so many like ups and downs and like all this crazy stuff on this album because we're trying to show that like it's real and like your feelings are valid, and it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be happy, it's okay to be down, whatever, everything, it's all good and it's productive. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure you get our album on, you listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, get it on iTunes.
We also have our album on Pledge Music, which is a unique thing that probably a lot of people haven't heard of. And Pledge Music doesn't just sell our album. If you go to pledgemusic.com/Cimorelli, you can get our album, and you can get like merch bundles and different things. Like there's a light pink vinyl you can buy. There's like shirts there that are nowhere else. There's a hat, it's really cute. There's random things you can buy. Like a lot of people bought us recording their voicemail for them. They bought like these signed Polaroids of us, like fun stuff like that, signed lyric sheets. There's all this really fun stuff on Pledge. So if you go to pledgemusic.com/Cimorelli, you can see all the cool things that you can get there. We love you guys!
Wait, how am I supposed to start?
Bye.
No,
Not swag.
No, I'm saying you can swag drop describing it.
Energy, guys! Remember, energy, right?
3, 2,